Okay, I managed to come back on here and continue the video on how you ended up with a womanizer. It's going to be a two-part, so this is part two. I'm 𝐿𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐴 post it up here, the video where this video starts, and the part 1, and this is part 2. So something that was not on my list that I added as to why you ended up with a womanizer is womanizers are very much like narcissists. They have a gift of perception. They're very perceptive, and they're highly gifted in perceptiveness. So you ended up with a womanizer because they could perceive your insecurities. They could perceive your desperations. They could perceive that if they did A, that you responded in a insecure and desperate way, and therefore they could figure out how to groom you to bring you into the roster of women that surround him, gain nothing from him, interested in all of them but not committed to anyone in particular. They perceived your weaknesses. They perceived your insecurities and your desperation. They perceived that you didn't know your worth yet, and that there are certain things, because you didn't know any better, that there are certain things that you are going to fall for. There are certain ways of being treated that you are going to accept and not speak up about because you didn't know any better. They're very perceptive, and they know how to play you so that you end up in this web of accepting the unacceptable, of accepting being part of a roster of women that just come in and out, rotating door, interested in all of you but not involved with any of you, not committed to one of you, neither of you. They perceived that. They have the gift, but they just don't use it for good. They have the gift of high perception, but they use it to take advantage of people. They use it to use people. They use it to destroy people. They use it to lie to people. That's why you ended up with a womanizer. They are very perceptive. The other thing I can tell you about why you ended up with a womanizer is you were desperate. You had lost faith and hope that someone out there has been designed for you. And when the timing is right, you will be positioned in such a way that the two of you are aligned to each other. You were desperate, and you had lost your faith. And you were no longer believing that someone would appreciate you, somebody would treat you as you're supposed to be treated. So you adjusted your expectations. You adjusted your standards. You adjusted what is just a basic requirements into something else, and you morphed it into something else that wasn't acceptable to you, but the something that could get you any dude, including the womanizer that you attracted to yourself. The other reason you ended up with a womanizer, you were never taught about relationship dynamics between men and women and how to preserve and protect yourself. You were set up. You were placed in some form of arrested development where you were ignorant, and you were set up to hit walls around men and navigating relationships with men, and knowing your worth and knowing what your standards are and sticking by them and trusting that your standards are not unreasonable and that they're not unfounded. That if you're asking for somebody who is abstinent, you are also abstinent. That's not unfounded. You've also done what you're asking for. You also stand in the position of what you're asking for. If you're asking for someone to have money, you also have money. If you're asking for someone to be honorable, you're also honorable. If you're asking for someone to be honest, you're also honest. So you didn't know. You were taught nothing about relationships, and that's why you ended up with a womanizer. You were also in disobedience. Here's a shocker. The reason you ended up with a womanizer is because you were in disobedience. You were in disobedience. Let's talk about it. You were in disobedience to God. He said, wait, spend time with me, God. Get to know me. And get in my word. You'll find me in my word. I'm in my word. Chase after me. Draw near to me, and I will draw near to you. But you decided to chase after a man. You decided to draw after a mere mortal man. And you pursued futility instead of pursuing God, who would edify you and deliver you from conformity to the world, from glory to glory. Instead of letting God edify you and increase you in discernment, wisdom, decrease you in perception, increase you in wisdom, in discernment, in perception. God could have been edifying you through his word, you taking in his word, meeting him in his word and reading his word. God could have been increasing you from glory to glory in the areas where your cup was halfway, was lacking in knowledge, was lacking in know-how, was lacking in experience, skills, abilities, capabilities to be able to handle those areas in a godly and in a decent way. You are busy chasing someone and somewhere where you would not be getting edified. If anything, you are going to be torn down and destroyed. Someone was going to pick away at your personality, pick away at your inner being, pick away at your intelligence, pick away at parts of your life, pick away at parts of your life that are actually valuable and gold. You opted for somebody who would pick away at your best stuff instead of running after God, chasing God, being desperate for God, seeking God. So you were not in order, and things in your life were not in order. You were placing a man over God when God is above all. You were placing relationship and connection with someone over God, over relationship and connecting with God. You were placing getting to know somebody who was not committed to you over getting to know God, who blood bought you out of bondage. You were in disobedience, and that's why you ended up with a womanizer. There are so many reasons why people end up with womanizers, but I'm going to stop at this last reason that I wrote as to why you ended up with a womanizer in your life. There are many other reasons that are personal and apply to you and your history of where you come from and what happened to you. But this video serves as a wake-up call. This is your wake-up call to have you examine yourself, introspect, and take to account all that has happened, and upon knowing better, doing better. When you know better, when you look back, because that's the other thing, you're not looking back, you're not reflecting after all these things have happened, you're not picking up the patterns, you're not thinking deeply and critically about what just happened. Okay, let me take a break for a whole year. Let me go through what just happened and make some clear decisions. What's not going to happen going forward? You haven't taken the time to do that. Do that. And because you've done that, you will do better next time. Do that and commit to doing better. Not do that and then commit to now finding yet another man. Do that and commit to doing better when another man finds you. Not you finding another man, not you chasing after another man, not being desperate when another man finds you. You know that if you've introspected, if you've reflected, if you've taken into account a number of things, everything that has occurred, and you critically applied your mind as to what happened here and what does this require of me in order for this, what is required of me in order for this to not happen to me again. Okay, I'm going to keep these pointers so that next time somebody finds me, in order for this to not happen to me again, because I've thought critically about it, these are the tools that I'm going to apply. These are the standards that I'm going to apply. These are the border stipulations and restrictions that I'm going to apply, because I need my life to not be damaged, to not be walked into and destroyed by some outsider. take account of all that has happened, and upon knowing better, do better. Upon learning better, dismissing therefore all that is below your standard and not fitting to how you desire and know you should be treated in a relationship. Once you've done all of these things, then you know you've done some work. You might not have done all the work. And it's not about only doing the work, but the tools you get out of having done the work, applying them, the work of introspecting, the work of changing your mind and renewing your mind, the work of pivoting and committing to it. These are the reasons why you ended up with a womanizer. And once you stop doing these things, you'll begin to get better results when it comes to interactions with men and dudes. Do better. Not for me, not for image, not to be looked at as a dumb diddy-dum, but for yourself, for your own confidence, for your own security, for your own safety, and to preserve all the work of your life that this can destroy, that being with a womanizer can destroy. So this is it. These are the reasons why you ended up with a womanizer, and you know what to do. Do the righteous flip side of every one of these reasons that I've just shared with you, and your life will be better, and your interaction with men will be better. And hold yourself in high regard. Find out how God sees you, and you will begin to see yourself in that way and hold yourself up in that regard. A regard that's informed by being given identity by God and not the world. Figure these things out and stand by the truth of them, because that truth is going to save you, is going to hedge you, is going to cover you and protect you from just anybody coming into your life, anybody putting you in some role in your life and in their life. If you knew better about who you were, you wouldn't allow anybody to put you in a role without your permission. So I gotta go. Stay blessed and be blessed, and I'll talk to you again next time. Check the community wall for all announcements. These two videos will have been back to back so that there's no space in between, and you can just segue from one video to the other with ease so that it's fresh in your mind. Keep coming back to this video. Share, like, but most importantly, share with people you think that would gain from this video. And also talk to me down in the comments. I like to hear from you, and I like to exchange ideas and encouragement towards you, and literally amplify edifying. I'll talk to you again next time. Bye. Stay blessed.